This lesson we're going to talk about solving absolute value equations. So just a refresher of what absolute value means is distance away from 0. Okay, so when you're solving an equation like this, where you have absolute value of x is equal to 9. So we think, what numbers have a distance from 0 that's 9? Well, positive 9 does, and negative 9 does. Okay, so those are the easy problems where there's nothing else with the x, just an x. If you look at the second one, this says absolute value of x is equal to negative 4. Okay, when we talk about distance, we always talk about distance being positive. Okay, so this is a no solution. Okay, reason why is distance always needs to be positive. All right, so those are the easy problems. Now we're going to make them a little bit tougher. So I've got absolute value of x plus 4 equals 3. Okay, so guys, what that tells me, and what should tell you, is what's inside the absolute value could be positive 3, but it also could be negative 3. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to set up two different equations. You're going to say x plus 4 equals 3, and x plus 4 equals negative 3. Notice my absolute value signs went away when I created my two equations. So then solve those just like you solved one-step equations way back in chapter 3. So subtract 4 from both sides. So you get x is negative 1. Subtract 4 from this side. X is negative 7. Okay, so notice with these, it's not the same number, one positive, one negative. Okay, so just be very, very careful when you're solving these. Same thing on the second one. Set up your two equations. So r minus 7 equals 9. R minus 7 equals negative 9. So then we add 7 to both sides. Get r is 16. Add 7 to both sides. R is negative 2. Okay, now guys, when we talk about those negatives, okay, what if I had absolute value of x plus 2 is equal to negative 5? Okay, this is a no solution. Again, because my absolute value is equal to a negative number. Can't have a negative distance. All right. So you guys, these are the same thing. We just want to get the absolute value by itself first before we create our two equations. Okay, so for this first one, we need to get rid of the 3. So most people would think distribute. Distribute the 3 through, we're good. Okay, we don't want to actually do that. Okay, what we want to do is actually divide by 3 on both sides. Okay, because absolute value bars are not the same thing as parentheses, where we can just distribute through them. So then I have absolute value of 13 minus 2t is equal to 5. Now I can create my two equations. So you get 13 minus 2t equals 5. And 13 minus 2t equals negative 5. So then I'm going to subtract 13 from both sides here. So I get negative 2t equals negative 8. Divide by negative 2. T is 4. Do the same thing on this one. Subtract 13 from both sides. So you get negative 2t equals negative 18. Divide by negative 2. T is 9. Okay, so making it one step harder for the next one. Okay, again, we got to get the absolute value by itself first. So I'm going to add 7 first. So I have 3 absolute value of 4x plus 2 equals 18. Now that looks really similar to the one that we just got done doing over there. So then divide by 3. Absolute value of 4x plus 2 is equal to 6. So then you have 4x plus 2 equals 6. And 4x plus 2 equals negative 6. So we subtract 2, get 4x equals 4. Divide by 4, x is 1. Subtract 2 here, get 4x equals negative 8. Divide by 4, x is negative 2. Okay, so those are the hardest problems when we get to these solving absolute value equations, right there. Okay, so then the next one that I want to look at looks like this. So you've got negative 8, absolute value of g plus 7 equals negative 24. Okay, a lot of people will say, oh, it equals a negative number. I don't have to do this one. This one's a no solution. But my absolute value is not by itself. Okay, so I'm actually going to divide by negative 8 first. And then I get absolute value of g plus 7 equals a positive 3. Okay, so then what I want you to do is I want you to finish this problem in your notebook. And then we'll finish and talk about it tomorrow.